bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum, bum, bada bum bum.
Dice, rolls, dragons, trolls.
Adventurous.
Are you ready to start?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if we're recording, then we already started.
Oh my gosh, you're so smart. All right.
Thank you.
Welcome back to
Dadventurous.
Another thrilling episode coming your way. We are continuing off on an intense cliffhanger. You called me Mr. Cliffhanger, I think.
Yeah, I know. I called you Master of Cliffhangers.
Master of Cliffhangers.
You also kind of sound like a game show announcer right now.
A game show announcer?
Yeah, because you were and we're starting off again on an intense cliffhanger.
You're the next contestant on The Magic is Right.
Hello.
My name's Dad Dadderson, and we are going to win you some money. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to introduce Dad Dadderson pretty soon. New NPC.
Like Carl.
All right, enough of this nonsense. You ready to jump into the recap? We're just getting into it, unless you have anything you want to say.
No.
Oh, I know.
What?
Give us a listen. Follow us on social media.
Don't we put that at the end of the episode?
Well, I'm putting it at the beginning because I forgot.
Okay.
You know how it works. All the socials, all the stuff. We did have, we've had some a good boost in numbers, but we still want more reviews and stuff. So check us out. All right. Recap time.
Woohoo!
Last time on
Dadventurous,
you and Greta and Beryl had to get out of town. Briarport was hot. The heat was onto you. The literal, because Beryl lit a bunch of stuff on fire.
Yep.
And you guys made your way, rushed to her airship. She loaded up everything she could from her lab onto the airship, a bunch of old past world tech and stuff like that. And then you guys needed to get out of town.
Because the Bloodhounds were chasing
The
us.
Bloodhounds, and their leader in town anyway was a guy named Scrick, a little goblin named Scrick. And he was on to you guys. He was chasing you down, and you and Beryl narrowly escaped as they were launching rocks and things up at you. As you left, Beryl gave Greta a device to make sure nobody got her lab.
Yeah.
Of any kind.
Yeah, she said to stick it in the slot in the wall of my shed and run away.
Yep, and presumably Greta did that because as you guys finally got out of range of the rocks, the lab where she made her potions and stuff exploded.
And quite a spectacular explosion.
It did. You guys made your way off into the air. You called up Theodora and Gunther and had a discussion about how they were going to be doing a experiment. Wild magic proportions.
They were trying to see if they could redirect a wild magic storm to somewhere.
Be able to control the direction they go.
Yeah.
Keep them away from towns, that kind of thing. And you and Beryl decided that you could probably swing into Retail Ruins and pick up the lamp. Or the Beaconator, as I called it. And then you...
But as far as I know, it doesn't cook breakfast.
Yeah. And then you landed on the rooftop. You snuck in, which I had to improvise that whole thing because I wasn't expecting it. And you stealthed your way down to the lamp where you had to fight off and dodge some surge scarabs with Beryl helping you from the airship. You managed to make a mad dash to the ship.
Thank you, Golden Watch of Speed.
That's right, your Golden Watch of Speed. And you launched up into the hot air balloon airship, and you guys escaped with the lamp. While you were carrying it and having it in your possession, you noticed that the lamp head would turn towards things that were magical.
And, it seemed to be like a dowsing rod of wild magic.
It did. and you guys sailed off towards Map's Edge. As you approached, you noticed that there was a clear sky. It was all beautiful. Everything was pretty. And then suddenly from the top of Theodora's tower, a beam shot straight up into the air, and a wild magic storm materialized.
And I called Theodora and said, I'm assuming your experiment didn't go quite as planned. And so I rushed in.
And what did Theodora say as you rushed in?
Kea, are you all right? I don't remember what she said, actually.
Yeah, because you guys, because you landed.
I went and landed in the wild magic storm as as everyone was passing a lot of gas.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
And it was raining cats and dogs.
It was raining cats and dogs. Yeah, you had to roll on the table. And then you dashed in and you saw evidence of something going on. You saw a vehicle driving off into the distance, heading towards Athon.
Dun, dun, dun.
To the west. And you noticed a bunch of little magical
Blitz.
things. And what were those that you were able to discover?
Because I'm a horizon walker, I managed to discover that they were portals.
Yeah. And what was going on with those portals?
They went to the north.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah. Some of them were also heading west. And you were able to kind of get that sensation by being close to them, by feeling the residue of this portal. And Flibbit was able to kind of sense that as well.
Because he came through a portal.
He came through a portal, yep. Finally, you guys got to Theodora, and what did she tell you?
She said, Tsar Bloodhound.
Yep. She said Tsar was here. And that is where we are now.
Woo!
So, the skies are clear now, but you get this kind of weird, eerie sensation in town because there's no one. And you don't see Callie, you don't see General, you don't see the dwarf guy who runs the inn, you don't see anyone.
Does he not have a name?
He does. I think it was Hodge.
Oh, yeah, it was Hodge.
Yeah, I could load up the notes, but we can just
Yeah, sure.
both agree that we think it was Hodge.
Was Hodge here?
And
it was Carl.
unfortunately, no Gunther. And the only person there in their tower hiding away was Theodora. You had gone out to test the portals. That was kind of the last thing you did. So you're standing out there and you're gathering up this information right now.
I turn around and has Theodora come outside?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think she's in her tower still.
I go back in.
And again, her tower is this crazy, like, we say tower, but it's like, it's pretty small. It'd be like a small lighthouse.
Yeah.
You know, kind
like
of thing.
Like a 2-story sort of.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 stories. And you know that it can collapse a little bit. It's a little bit portable, and she can move it and various places.
It's got like wheels.
Yeah. And so it's pretty crazy. So the crazy, steampunk looking tower in front of you, as you get closer, the door opens up.
And I go inside.
Okay.
I place my hand on her shoulder and say, well, the good news is, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, they're not dead or injured, I think.
Okay.
They went north/west.
How do you know that?
Portals. There's a bunch of residue. You can't feel that?
No.
Oh, okay. I think Kea probably doesn't know the change that happened to her.
Okay, cool.
So I look to Flibbit and say, you can feel that, right?
Yes, I can, Kea, and I feel that most of them have gone to the north direction.
Yes. See, Flibbit gets it. So
Theodora's like, her eyebrows furrow, and she's like, you can feel where they went through the portals.
Yeah.
Come go show me. And she runs out with you guys. And she starts feeling through the portal. And she's just like, I wonder how you do that. I can't feel anything.
I shrug.
Well, it's good to know that you think that they're good. I saw the portals open up.
Yeah. Where was Gunther? Where?
Unfortunately, and she kind of like looks down and she looks a little bit ashamed. You can make an insight check. You can make a persuasion check. It's up to you. But she kind of goes quiet in this moment and looks down at her feet.
18 on insight.
On insight? Yeah, she's definitely not being forthright with... She doesn't want to answer you where Gunther was.
Was he on top of the tower? Outside?
Oh, no. We were in his shop.
Oh.
We were in Past World Plunders.
Then, why did I see the beam come from the tower?
Well, I mean, that was beforehand. We were there beforehand.
Okay.
And she sighs. She lets out a deep sigh and she goes, "Oh, boy, sweetie. All right. Czar came into town.
Yeah.
And
I point to the rapidly receding vehicle.
He, unfortunately, seems to have figured out a few of my blueprints and had a vehicle of impressive nature. It turns out that, well, how to put this? I may not have led on to the fact before that me and Tsar Bloodhoof don't exactly get along.
I mean, you kind of hinted at it.
It's a little bit less subtle than I had said before.
Ah.
And she kind of like thinks about it for a second and she goes, "Let's just say that old Tsar and I used to work together and I may or may not have stolen something from him." And Beryl, as she looks over at Beryl off to the side, may or may not have helped me. And Beryl looks at you and just shrugs.
Of course, Beryl did it.
That's how they knew each other beforehand.
I look at Theodora and say, do you know of a certain Talus Field to the west?
Beryl goes, "Sorry, just clear my throat." And then she catches your eye and she shakes her head behind Theodora.
Okay. So they may have not shared the same...
No.
Okay.
Beryl probably pipes up and she goes, "Yeah, no. I gave Theodora... I was basically the getaway driver."
Okay. Wait. With that? And important to the airship?
She goes, "Yeah, of course. What else would I be riding?"
True.
Theodora goes, "Look, that's besides the point. Anyway, Czar's been out for me for a while. He's a big minotaur.
Yeah.
And he's a bit scary. And he caught on to us. I don't know if he was able to see the experiments we've been doing. I'm not sure. But he showed up and, well, we had an argument in your grandfather's shop. Things happened and Czar found out about the device."
Did he take it?
Yeah. Unfortunately. He activated it first. He
Oh.
made me show him how to use it in my tower, and then he activated it. I didn't think he'd do it, but he activated it, and that's why a wild magic storm appeared right over town.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming he's that vehicle? He's in that vehicle that I saw?
Yeah. He had a whole
Roaming?
group of bloodhounds with him. And unfortunately, and she looks down and sighs again, your grandfather got, well, he got teleported away.
Which, do you know where the...
It should be the portal right in Past World Plunders. We were talking there, and there were some bloodhounds that kind of had him under guard while Czar made me show him how the device worked.
Can you take me to where he was ported?
Yeah. And she runs out and she's feeling a little bit better, helping out, and she rushes over into Past World Plunders.
Would I be able to sense where it went without reusing my detect portal?
Yeah, I'll say it's still up.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, because
roll roll either investigation or survival, I think.
my investigation is slightly better. 16.
16? Okay, yeah, you go up and you again, it's this kind of like wispy blue glow that's just kind of hanging there. And you'll notice that like when you first sat down and then you went to start talking to Theodora, they were brighter.
Mm-hmm.
This one's starting to fade. And you get the sense that this glow disappears over time. And you reach out and you touch it, And with that 16, you get this feeling of kind of like a pull. And you get it, and you can almost even like make out a residue of surprise, of shock from whoever was portaled here. North.
Okay.
And you
So he
get
went
the vibe
north.
that he went far north.
Okay. I breathe in and breathe out and say, he also went north.
Okay.
This is where he got ported, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He went north. Far
Okay.
north.
Well, the only thing far north is Scarlet Hill.
Yep.
But you said maybe they just got, if they just got ported, maybe the Bloodhounds don't have them. Maybe they got teleported. Hopefully somewhere safe.
Yes. Okay. I look out the door. How far away is that vehicle? Is it over the horizon or is it still?
Yeah, it's kind of past the horizon now. But I will say you go out and look that way without even needing to roll. There are tracks
Okay.
in the dirt.
I say, so Zara's this big Minotaur guy, right?
Yeah, he's quite scary. He's about 10 feet tall.
Interesting. And he came up. He came with a whole squadron of bloodhounds.
Yeah, they fit inside that vehicle.
Okay, so
It
it's
was
a big vehicle.
Yeah, and you get the idea. It was like school bus size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I crack my knuckles and probably unsheath my claws a little bit and say, "Sure, why not? You and Gunther were working on that.
Oh yeah. And she goes, "Yeah, no. Your grandfather was awfully excited about you being back because he was going to give it to you." And she rushes over and goes to the back of Past World Plunders where your grandfather's bedroom and like personal workspace was. He had a little like workshop in there, and she throws open this big side door.
Did he forget to eat the cupcake still?
No, the cupcake's gone. I think.
Okay.
And throws open the door, and you are greeted to this beautiful teal two-wheeled nonsense vehicle. Now, I will say
It's a motorcycle.
it is a Motowheeler. So we'll pull out of the game for a second. We have created the Motowheeler, right?
Yeah.
And I told you that this would act very similarly to just kind of like a personal vehicle, like a horse.
Mm-hmm.
What
Horse
Gunther
fast.
has done is he has taken that beautiful, brand new looking motorcycle that you saw that was teal, right? It was sitting upright. It had handlebars on it, and it had a couple of the fenders on it to be teal. Torn that to shreds. Okay.
Of course.
And so there's still a teal like section up front and in the back. Now there are wires sticking out everywhere. There are pipes going through. There's crazy steampunk stuff going on. The seat is completely new. Everything is like torn apart and very hodgepodge. He's got like rods sticking places and things going everywhere. And you'll notice, because of your power, quite a few past world tech pieces of things that have been put into this bike to get it to work. There is, instead of a steering wheel, instead of the handlebars right there, it's like a set of like not sewer pipes, but like metal pipes, right? And they're attached to this rod that goes down that has a faint, glow aura or whatever. And then there's the pedals themselves, like put off a faint magical. Basically, he has hodgepodged this thing together out of various past world tech items. And then right on the back of it is a teal, kind of dark, or kind of light blue blender. Okay? And from the blender, there are tubes and stuff going to the bike. And I'm just going to show you a picture now, and I will post this on social media later. So there's
Wow.
the bike, and as you can see at the top back, there is a blender sitting on top.
Wow.
So very hodgepodgey. Now, I'm going to give you the rules. The Motowheeler. And there's a note on the seat,
Oh.
and you lift it up, and there's a note
Instructions.
from Gunther. It says, "Dear Kea, I have completely and utterly torn apart the motorcycle, I think we decided that it was called, and I have created the Motowheeler. due to the hodgepodge nature of finishing it, it's not as reliable as its original past world form, but it will function as a vehicle. I have also, if you will press the button underneath this note, and right next to the note there's a little button on the side of the seat.
I press it.
You press it, and from the side, shooting out, is a little sidecar attachment.
Yes!
He says, I have attached a sidecar for our dear flying jellyfish friend, Flibbit. Also, I have given you a list of how to maintain the vehicle, because unfortunately it's not exactly perfect, but it should help you on your journey. And so the stat block breakdown of this, so it's got a sidecar. It's called the Motowheeler. It can move 60 feet per round.
Oh.
However, it has a speed boost thing. If the Motowheeler is on past world roads or smooth terrain, it will go up to 100 feet per round. So, very fast, right? However, it can only go because of the blender.
No.
It's called blended results. The Motowheeler is a finicky device, and as it is mostly powered by a past world tech blender that sits on the back seat. The blender must actively be blending something for the motor to work and to propel the bike forward. Potatoes and blueberries seem to work best. So
Wow.
you have to be periodically putting stuff in the blender to get the bike to go. This is my nonsense.
Wow. Where am I going to find potatoes?
We'll get there. However, there's a mishap table because it is not a perfect device. The Motowheeler is prone to mishaps because of its hodgepodge nature. If the bike takes over 10 damage from one source, if it has less than half of its hit points, or if it fails an ability check by more than 7, you have to roll on the mishap table.
Okay.
So quick, I'm just going through this so everybody knows. You're going to roll a d20 for the mishap table, right?
Yeah.
If you roll a 2 through 4, the engine will overheat. Smoke erupts from the blender, envelops the rider. Any creature riding the vehicle is blinded for a certain amount of rounds. Locked steering. The vehicle can move in a straight line only. Roll a dexterity saving throw of 13 or bring the vehicle to a stop. Wheel wobble. The speed of the vehicle is halved for a certain amount of rounds. Brakes. The brakes engage and the vehicle skids to a halt for a certain amount of rounds. On the higher rolls, 17 through 19, you keep it steady. You manage to hold fast and keep going, powering through the mishap. And then on a nat 20, something kicks in that you can't explain, and you are rocketed forward at twice your current speed. That's a speed boost. Okay? A nat 1 on this mishap table is called flip.
Oh,
The bike flips over, and you are flung from it. Make a dex save, a high dex save, or take 2d6 fall damage. So, that's the Motowheeler.
Ow.
And you finish reading this, and he tells you, be very careful. I love you. Also, I have, if you will look, the old fuel tank, these vehicles used to run on combustion energy. They had to have a fuel that burned. It was very strange. But if you will open that up, and so there's a big central tank. You
Pop it
crack
open.
it open, full of potatoes. Just chock full of potatoes.
Oh, well, I guess the starch and sugar, right?
Yeah, something about that. And Beryl helps you wheel it out to the thing. It is heavy, but you do feel like you could lift it back up.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your Motowheeler. I will print
Wow.
out the stats
Amazing.
for you to have in the future, but for now, I have them. And,
Is there a helmet?
huh? Yes, there would
Okay.
be a helmet because
Does it have spots for
we're
my
all about
ears?
safety here at Dadventures.
Yes, yes.
I think if anything, I think Theodora walks over to you and she goes, "Oh, and Callie thought this might be of use to you," and you can tell it's like an old past world helmet
Yeah.
that she had in her crazy shop of nonsense.
Is it like a bike
And-
helmet? Like,
Yeah, it's like a motorcycle helmet.
yeah.
But yeah, someone cut holes for your ears to
Aw.
slip through.
I take it from her and say, "Oh, thanks."
Yep.
I put it on.
You put it on, and it has one of those visors that
Yeah.
that slaps down, covering your face, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you can put that down and protect yourself from bugs and whatnot.
This is the image of this is very exciting to think about. A cat tail flipping rides a hodgepodge motorcycle.
Right. And Theodora goes, "All right, well, I take it. I don't know. I don't want to, push on touchy subjects, but did you manage to get the lamp?"
Oh, yeah. And I pull it off of the ship and give it to her.
Okay. And she takes it. She's just like fascinated again. She's like, "Oh man! And did you figure out kind of what it did?"
It's like dowsing rods, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a dowsing rod for magical artifacts. It points toward the highest ones. Like when the wild magic storm went, it pointed directly towards the map's edge.
Okay. So it can sense storms and magic items?
I think so.
Okay. She goes quiet and she's just like staring off in the middle distance. You can see the gears turning in her head.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like nodding absently and her eyes keep flitting back and forth like, "Okay." And she's imagining what to do with it.
I tap her on the shoulder.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna try to go after
Czar?
Yeah.
Okay. And I suppose you don't really need this because you already can sense them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take this. I'll see if I can figure out a way maybe to track down the storms or something. I don't know. Look. And she goes, and did y'all figure anything out about Maud?
She might have gone to Athon.
Well, I guess you're going to Athon then.
Yeah.
Zara was headed west. You kind of got to go through Athon before you can start heading on those north roads.
Okay.
Otherwise, you go through the swamp.
Okay.
Or the bog, I mean. Anyway, you got my speaking stone?
Yeah.
You got my rocky talkie?
Yes, and I pull it out. I have one use left today.
That's fine. All right, Kea. I know I can't convince you to stay. You're going to go out and probably find your grandpa.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on what I can, and I'll stay in Map's Edge for the time being.
Okay. Try
to figure out if I can figure out what's going on. Maybe if you start getting people, they can come back this way and I can help them out.
Okay.
And she reaches down and she pats you on the shoulders and she goes, "Look, I know this is a lot for you. You've only been a rummager for a couple weeks. Well, an official
rummager.
one. And I know that your grandpa believes in you, and I think he knows that you can go find him. You can save him.
Thank you.
Also, don't try to mess with Czar. He's 10 feet tall and a minotaur."
No promises.
All right. And Theodora takes the lamp and she goes off into her lab.
Okay.
Into her tower.
And
Flibbit goes, "Ugh, everybody got teleported, huh?
Yeah.
That's not great.
No, it isn't.
But the sidecar was cool.
Yeah.
I suppose I could sit there."
Yeah, I think I grab him and put him in the sidecar.
All right.
Is there a seatbelt at all for
Yeah.
him?
It just goes over the center of his body.
Yeah.
Goes right over the top of his head and back down in between his eye stalks. We might need art of this.
Yeah. Yes, I might do that. I clip it in and pat him on the head and say, "Good?"
Oh, I don't know what to expect, but yes.
And neither do I.
I have learned, perhaps you will remember, to have fun, so
Yes!
we're going to try that.
And I hop on the bike.
Beryl walks over to you, and she scoops up a bunch of the potatoes, and she closes the tank, and then you hop on, and she sticks them in the blender. She doesn't turn it on yet. She goes, "All right, kid, it was good meeting you," and she holds out a hand for a handshake.
I shake her hand.
We'll go with 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks, meet up north in Wander Wharf.
Okay. Sounds good.
If I don't hear from you in 2 weeks, I'll come to Athon.
Okay.
And remember who you're meeting, who you should seek out.
What was his name?
Elf woman.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name again?
Calvatia?
Calvatia,
I think.
yes.
One of the counselors.
One of the counselors, one of the bog witches. You know what I'm saying. One of the bog witches, she'll help you out.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck.
To you too.
All right. And she sticks a bunch of potatoes in the blender, puts the lid on, and you can go ahead and press the button whenever you want.
I press the button.
Press the button for high. The thing starts blending, and nothing happens at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the potatoes are like inside. And then the first one starts getting smushed by the blades. And you feel the bike make like a popping noise, start slowly going forward.
Oh.
And then slowly going forward. And then it starts increasing in speed as it starts to blend
Okay.
further. As the things start to blend down into a mashed potato mush, you start getting up to speed.
Okay.
You got your hands on the handlebars?
Yep. I go. I press the pedal, not knowing if it does anything, and
There's no pedal; it's a throttle.
yeah. Oh, right. I rum the throttle and turn onto the main road.
All right.
And follow the tracks.
All right.
Of Zarbloodov.
Pretty easy for you to see these tracks.
I mean, they're fresh.
They're fresh, and on top of that, this section of Map's Edge you've traveled before. It's actually road. It's a lot of Password Road, right out towards Coaster Chaos.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be fairly easy for you to follow those tracks. You start zooming along. You look back behind you. Theodora's in her tower waving. Beryl hopping on her ship and heading kind of the same direction as you are.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to go to the cache first.
Okay.
She hops in her airship, and you notice that that Theodora come out, and they seem to be chatting for a little bit. And you start going 60 feet around. It's pretty fast. Vroomy vroom.
Vroomy vroom.
You start heading for Athon. Flibbit's going, "Whoa!" Next to you. The little tentacles are flowing behind him, and he's holding on.
I shout over the wind. You doing good?
Yes, I am doing wonderfully.
Great.
This is crazy. We're going so fast.
Yeah. I think
like
my,
you're not going that fast.
Yeah, it's
because you
probably
can
like,
run 40 feet.
Yeah, I can. My movement speed is 30 feet. Walking speed.
Yeah, so this is like when you dash.
Mm-hmm.
It's like full sprinting.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy fast. It's not motorcycle speeds.
Yeah.
But constantly being able to travel that and not have to like take breaks is really cool. And the helmet is protecting you against the wind. You can flip the thing up if you want to feel the breeze, that kind of stuff.
I think my my ears are probably a little bit back from wind, and I think my tail is the like flipping in the wind like a kite.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's like
flipping behind you.
Yeah.
And you start zooming along to the west. Okay. We are going to start cutting through this.
The kobolds again.
The first day. Previously, when you traveled this road, you took a break at the cache, right? We're going to say by the time you get past the first day, you're going to have gone well further west than you've ever gone.
Oh.
Because this, from Map's Edge to Athon, is a very similar time frame to Briarport.
Mm.
And it would have taken you about 4 days to get to Athon. We're going to cut it down to 2.
Oh, ow.
And so you start zooming along. You pass by the cache where the stuff is, or you're approaching it.
Is
if
Beryl
there's
here
anything
yet?
you want to do, no, you're way faster. You were way faster than
Yeah.
Beryl. Is there anything you want to do with this? Do you want to stop? I'm going to ask you a couple stop places.
I think I probably look at it and think about the door in there and how it's locked.
The Tsar door?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I would probably leave it.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Uh-oh. That's bad. An 8.
An 8. It's not so much that you didn't see anything over there, but you do notice that the tracks don't seem to deviate. The tracks are going.
Okay.
So that vehicle, whatever, keeps moving.
Okay.
But you don't notice anything else. You decide to keep going. You rev along. An hour later, you are approaching a very familiar theme park entrance. And I think outside of the theme park entrance are a group of kobolds and an ogre.
Oh, no.
And they're currently trying to figure out how the tickets work. They have the purple and gold tickets, and they're standing outside the booth as you approach.
I think I still have my ticket wheel. Or actually, no, I left
you left it. Yeah.
I think I yell out to them, not bothering to stop because I know they'll attack me. I say, "You put it in the slot."
And the ogre goes, "Oh!" And everyone looks and goes, "Huh?" And the ogre goes, "Jellyfish!" And they see Flibbit in the sidecar. Or no, sorry, it was octopus. And all the kobolds go, "Argh!" And they are going to try to take one round to throw stuff at you because you yelled at them. So,
I mean, you do put it in the slot.
You do. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So the Motowheeler has an armor class of 14.
Okay.
And it has 40 hit points.
Oh.
So
it's actually stronger than me.
Yeah, but it can't do anything else. It's just a metal frame, right? Suddenly, a bunch of kobold spears fly towards Flibbit and you. And the ogre takes his club and throws it your guys' direction. All at once, but we're just going to roll one dice. We'll see if we hit. Okay, we do hit.
The bike or me?
The bike. Well, you're kind of together right now. So the way this works is if the bike takes more than 10 points of damage, it crosses that threshold into mishaps.
Okay.
If it doesn't, then the idea is that you can maintain it
Okay.
and get it back up to full health throughout the day. So we'll say one of the spears goes in, sinks into the tank, and you open it up and pull out a spear that skewered a potato. And
I think I probably put it back in the tank and
it's a little
keep
kobold
it for
spear
roasting.
Too. Nice. Yeah. So you have a kobold spear sticking out of your tank.
Yeah.
And you are able to zoom past them as the ogre bellows in anger behind you, and they comfort him.
I say, "He's not an octopus."
Yeah, that's right. I'm a flumph.
Yes.
And all the things go, "Hello, flumph, grumph," and you zoom away. All right, you start making your way further than you've ever been. You zoom along, and you start getting the sun starting to go down in the sky. Okay.
Is the thingy, the vehicle that he was riding in, faster? I'm just following the track because I can't see it.
Yeah, you get the idea that you're probably traveling similar speeds.
Okay.
But go ahead and make another perception check for me. This time you can do it at advantage because Flibbit will probably be helping you out.
Let's hope I roll better than a 4. Those are very close. I don't mind if I do. A 22.
22. Okay. You notice that the tracks keep going.
Mm-hmm.
They don't appear to be stopping for nighttime.
Yeah.
You're going to have a harder time doing that. You're getting to that point where you figure that they're going to probably be setting up camp soon, you would think, but the tracks keep going.
So, but he might be farther along the road.
He might be. Yeah, it's hard for you to know for sure. You do notice where, as you're coming around a creek, that you're going to cross a little bridge, a little stone bridge. On the other side of the creek, there's this nice flower field and open view. Lots of not high grass, but tall grass and flowers, a bunch of wildflowers, and a slope up. And as you cross this creek and break out of the trees, you look to the northeast from you, and you see this big mountain that you haven't really seen from Map's Edge because of the tree line and everything. You can kind of see it. You've probably seen it before. You know of it.
Yeah.
But this is the closest you've ever been. This is Everpeak.
The big thing.
Yeah.
You might recognize this from our Christmas special.
That's right. And so Everpeak is there off to the northeast. You've crossed this creek. The sun is starting to go down. This seems like a good spot to maybe take a nap.
Okay.
And by nap, I mean break.
I think I pull off. How blended are the potatoes?
How blended are the potatoes? Oh, you will have probably have had to re-up that throughout this day a few times. And so every day, so basically the way this works, I was going to figure this out a little bit more, but the way this works is you had in your thing about 20 pounds of potatoes, but to go, this far, you had to use about 2 pounds of potatoes.
Oh.
So you'll need to restock occasionally, but
potatoes.
It's a lot of potatoes. That's how it operates. But you do feel like the sun is starting to set down. Things are getting a little dark. This would be a good spot to set up camp with that perception check.
Okay. I think I'm going to sigh and think that I'll get up. I'm going to get up real early tomorrow to see, like, probably sunrise time to see if I can catch him by surprise.
Okay.
And I think I stop the bike and unbuckle Flibbit.
Oh boy, that was quite exciting. We're quite a bit farther than we've been before.
Yeah, this is interesting.
All right.
I think we're gonna set up camp here.
Okay. I will prepare the tent.
We have a tent?
I assumed we have a tent. And you look, and on the back of the bike, there's supplies. And
Okay.
you guys have done this before.
Yeah.
It's more of like a lean-to than a tent.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's not Cabot Cranberry's collapsing tent.
No, you might have to ask him for that one next time you see him. And you are able to, using some cloth and string and trees and whatnot, set up a little lean-to.
I think I probably trample down a bunch of grass, and I think I probably try to like probably use my short swords a little bit to clear out some grass so that I can start a fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you find some rocks by the creek, and you make a little pit, and you start the fire.
I think I probably I probably bring the Motowheeler into the grass as well.
Yeah.
And lay it down by the tent.
Okay.
And
So it's nearby.
take out my potato spear and roast a potato.
All right, you take out a potato spear, you roast a potato, sprinkle some salt on it. That's good.
Yeah.
And
Baked potatoes with salt are real good.
and you guys have a nice, pleasant evening. Flibbit looks at you as he's sitting there, not eating anything except the vibes you're putting off. He
The
goes,
happy vibes.
The happy vibes. He goes, how are you feeling about your grandfather? It's kind of a bummer.
Yep, you could say that. Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah. Do you think he's all right though?
Yeah. I think he's all right. Just because he went north doesn't mean he's hurt.
That's true. That's a positive way of thinking, and I appreciate it.
I tried to do it for you, and I pat his head because.
And he goes, well, I will say I'm a little bit worried about the Tsar Bloodhoof guy. He sounds pretty tall.
Yeah, I mean, 10 feet tall, that's like twice my size.
That's quite big. I don't know why he would have done that, but it sounds like he's not very nice.
From what I've heard, he's not very nice at all.
All right. Well, I would like to try some of your potato.
I give him some potato.
And he eats it. And you guys can take a long rest, bed down for the night, that kind of thing.
I have a... okay. I am going to... I'm trying to think of a way that I could set an alarm for, like, 5 a.m. I want to wake up early to see if I can get...
I mean, yeah,
dude.
that's fine. You can just...
You think I can just wake up then?
You have a stink clock.
Yeah. I probably...
Maybe the clock. I don't know. I don't think that's an issue. You can go
Okay.
ahead and decide when you want to wake up.
Wanna
You're
wake
early
up
enough
early.
in the day that would be feasible.
Okay.
So you want to come up before the sunrise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Try to see if I can catch him before he wakes up.
Okay. You pop up bright and early. You got the night went by without a hitch. You wake up. You got that sort of like the sky is not quite dark anymore. It's starting to glow.
Where it's a little bit like
Yeah, it has
tealy
that
yellow.
teal, where it's starting to glow, but the sun is below, behind the Ever Peak
Okay.
kind of thing. And it looks really pretty. The mountain, this really tall mountain. And I will say, as you look out that way, you probably see a bird circle around, a giant bird of rock size.
I think I probably tap Flibbit. Is he awake?
Yeah, he's awake. He's helping you get ready.
I point to the bird.
Whoa, that's huge.
That is a really big bird.
That's crazy. And the bird then settles down. The sun's not coming up yet. You load up on potatoes. You look at the track, it's still there.
Okay. I think I pack up the tent and try to do it as fast as I can and follow the tracks again.
All right.
Still sticking Flibbit in his little sidecar.
Go ahead and on day 2, for me, go ahead and roll on our encounter table.
No more
Day
kobolds.
2, you start setting out, and things are going good. Starts blending. The bike is moving along nicely. You roll a D8.
Oh, just a D8.
Just a D8. Not the wild magic, the encounter table.
2.
And you start zooming along to kind of the northwest now. You're starting to head...
To the northwest.
You're starting to head towards Athon.
Okay.
You haven't been there yourself, but you know the way.
Is
Callie
there-
gave you a cool map all that time ago,
Mhm.
and you go. What were you going to say?
Is there any sign of a camp?
As you go,
Yeah.
go
like
ahead and make a perception
a
check.
fire pit or
Yeah.
tracks going off. Whoa. 9.
No sign of anything yet,
Hmm.
but I will say with that 9, you start zooming along. You pass out of the hills, out of the mountains, and you're starting to get into flatter terrain
Yeah.
again. But it's not like the plains where Map's Edge is. There's periodic trees. You've noticed some areas where there's water, stagnant water sitting here and there. And it's almost like farmland or something like that, but there's a lot of water on the sides of the road. All of a sudden, huge roar fills the sky. And you look over towards this watery thing next to you.
I say, not the bird.
It's not the bird.
Oh,
And you
okay.
look over there and you see a dragon. Another dragon, right? This
It's
one
not purple, is it?
it's not purple. This one is kind of white in color. But it's not close to you. It's off to the side. And you see it roar and it comes out off of one of those hills, one of those other mountains, sweeps down into the plains and scoops up something. And you see in its claws as it lifts back up a 2-legged ostrich-like creature with a bladed face, an axe beak.
Oh.
Yeah, and it picks up a big one and flies back up to the hills, right? However,
Uh-oh.
you're looking off that way and you hear the thud, 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 thud. And
I look around.
you see coming your way from there is a horde of these axe beaks rushing your direction.
I say, it's not the bird, but it's a bird.
It's a bird after all. And these crazy bursting from the tall grass and the splashing through the mud is about 20 of these axe beaks. And they're running on 2 legs like a ostrich, right?
Yeah.
And they have, again, that crazy sharp beak that looks like an axe blade on the front of their face. And they're all squawking out of fear, and they're rushing towards you and the road, and they look like they're going to collide into you. So you can try to maneuver, you can try to stop, you can do whatever you want. It's up to you, or you can try to power through.
Are they in front of me? Like if I kept going, they would hit me? Or
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to... I think I'm gonna slow down a little bit to take a sharp turn.
Okay. Where are you going to turn? You're on a road.
Yeah. I'm doing basically a U-turn where I'm gonna stop it a little bit, turn around, and go the other way a little bit.
Okay, so you're backtracking. So you skid.
And backtrapping a little
You
bit.
skid to a stop, and you squeal the bike, and then you start zooming away. Right as you zoom away, a couple of those axe beaks like fly right past where you would have been and plow in across the field.
They're not coming for me, though.
They aren't coming for you currently, except for 2 of them. 2 of them turn, and the dragon, that was in the past.
Yeah.
They're not super smart creatures. And 2 of them turn and cock their heads and look at you and make these like rah, rah, rah noises. And 2 of them turn and look at you, and they're almost like looking at the Motowheeler, like it looks like a weird bird or something like that. And so they start heading towards you.
Did the herd go away?
The herd
Like, did they cross? So now the road is relatively clear?
The road is relatively clear, but you have these two that are squawking coming your way.
I think I'm gonna play a game.
As you're sitting there thinking about it, two more turn around from the plains and start looking towards you going, "Wah, wah."
You just love making that noise.
That's all I really wanted to do. And they start looking towards you.
All right, and the two original ones are coming toward me, or all four of them?
Now there's four coming towards you.
No. I'm stopping the bike.
Okay, you stop the bike. They're about 60 to 80 feet away from you on the path you need to go, but there's muddy waters on either side.
How far apart are they?
Not very. The road is enough for a cart or two to fit on. Probably 10 feet apart from each other. Maybe 5.
How many would be within 5 feet of
We'll
each
say
other?
the first two. I'll roll for it. How about that?
Okay.
First two for sure. I'm going to, if I get a 4 and a higher on a d6, then they're all within 5 feet of each other.
Okay.
I did. Okay, so they're all within 5 feet of each other.
Wonderful. This is why I'm a ranger. I pull out my bow,
Okay.
take out my little spray can of thorns,
Oh, nice.
and go on my little arrow. And I'm casting Hail of Thorns because it is a 5-foot radius, and each creature within 5 feet of the target. So.
Okay, I'll say that this will only really snag 3 of them.
Okay.
Because 5 foot, 5 foot radius.
Here, let me. It says, the target of the attack and each creature within 5 feet of it must make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Oh, and the only okay, so if it could hit 4 spaces.
Mm-hmm.
If you put it in the middle kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, understood. So you could hit all of them.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. Pull back my bow and go. Whatcha!
What are we doing, Kea?
We're trying to get them to not be running at us anymore.
All right. I'll follow your lead.
Does a 22 hit?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So did I got to roll now?
Hang on. Okay, so I'm doing it on the middle one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay.
That middle one. And then you need to make a dexterity saving throw for that guy and everybody else.
All around them.
Yeah.
Okay. Starting with the guy who got hurt. A fail. What do I got to beat?
12.
Barely a fail, but a fail. I got an 11.
No.
Next guy. I got an 11. Next guy. I got a 9. Oh my goodness. Last guy. I got a 7. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. All 4 of them fail. As how does it? What does it look like? You tell me. Do they take damage?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Only
because this is Hail of Thorns.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Only 2 damage though.
For
To each of them.
Okay.
So the main guy takes 14 damage.
Okay.
I am spraying the can.
Uh-huh.
Right. I go on my arrow, pull back the arrow, and shoot it. And as it flies through the air, through contact, it digs into the main guy, but as it digs in, a big halo of thorns goes out from the range of impact and goes into like a little explosion radius shockwave thingamajig.
Okay. They all scatter
Mm-hmm.
because all that damage, and the one guy's limping off. I'm gonna see if they all run away. Yep.
Woo!
So you deter these guys. You launch it into them, and they all scatter. The one kind of limping away a little bit. You imagine that might become dragon food at some point.
Because it's so weak.
They clear the road.
Woo!
And you can
go.
continue on.
I go
All right.
and go.
You start zooming along, continuing to the west. As you start curving towards the west, you come around the corner of this road,
Mm-hmm.
and you are no longer on past world roads.
Okay.
You drop out into rock, almost like gravel road, right? So you have to slow the bike back down to 60 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you slow down, and as you start going, the water that has been in the fields on either side starts becoming more murky and mucky looking.
Okay.
And there's trees coming up that are growing in the muck. And they're very scraggly and crazy. And it's very thick with trees, but the water is everywhere except the path. And you catch little burbles here and burbles there of something in the water. The scent is very musty, swampy. And you look at your map and you can tell that you are entering into Boot Stealer Bog.
I'm not wearing boots.
You're not wearing boots. And as you approach...
I'm still looking for any sign of a campsite.
Yep. I was going to say, as you approach, you do finally notice those tracks pull off right before the bog. And it seems like there's a fire that was there.
Okay.
They were able to go a lot farther than you on one night, somehow. But they did stop for the evening.
So it is early in the morning.
It's early morning. I think about now with the axe beaks and getting here, the sun is up, but it's still early morning. Yeah.
I stop the bike again and go over to the campsite.
Okay.
How?
You're gonna investigate around?
Yeah. Would I be able to tell based on like the campfire how long ago was this extinguished? Did they wake up earlier than me, or did they wake up?
Make a survival or investigation check.
Investigation is better. 10.
10. It's not warm anymore. You don't know for sure, but you know that you can put 2 and 2 together with a 10. They were probably here this morning, and they left early too.
Okay. I think I probably stamped my foot a little bit that that they're faster than me, and I go back to the cart and vroom.
Okay.
Probably loading in an extra potato.
Before you do that, you hop off at the camp and you look around and you see that there was nothing there, right? You're looking at the map, you realize you're in Boot Stealer Bog. You go back to the Motowheeler, and past the Motowheeler, you see something slither through the swamp.
Ooh.
And then you see another something slither through the swamp. And suddenly, bursting forth from the swamp on the other side of the road are 2 tall, 6 foot tall, on 2 legs with armor and spears, gator folk.
Oh.
And the gator folk look at you, they growl, and they rush for an attack. And that's where we're going to end our session.
What?
Yeah, it's been an hour. And you'll have to deal with some gator folk next time.
Well, I found our Bloodhoof's camp thing.
You did. You're on the track. You're on the trail. Boot Stealer Bog means you're pretty close to Athon, too, so you should be getting there after today. And you'll meet Calvasia.
We need to bring her back in.
We're going to have to. All right. And that is all for this week's episode
of Dadventurous.
Thank you for listening. We had a good time. We're getting story stuff. We're moving along.
Woo!
You're going to find Gunther. Oh, by the way, this significant moment of passing through Map's Edge, having to battle some stuff, fighting a dragon, blah, blah, blah.
I didn't fight a dragon.
You did a couple episodes ago. And dealing with all the bloodhounds and everything. Little Kea is level 5.
Yes!
So, we're going to be moving up to level 5 after that. And we are going to keep going.
Yeah.
Continuing on. Thank you all for listening.
Again, saying it again, leave us a review.
Yeah,
and
please.
Comment and all those social media things that we like.
Yep, we're going to keep making these episodes. We're having a good time.
Woo!
And we'll see you next time on
Dadventurous. Bye-bye.